Hi everyone, it is Fitz with your daily delivery. Hope you're doing well. I am absolutely wonderful. Christmas is almost here. Whew, that means the bowl game's almost here. We got so much coming up, and so much will be compressed at GoPowercat into the 26th and 27th, leading into the 28th, that our whole schedule's thrown off. But you're going to enjoy it. But I think you're going to enjoy this daily delivery too, so if you're not subscribing to this channel, do so. Hit the thumbs up, leave those comments, 60% off at GoPowercat. Here we go. Oh boy, is Florida State unhappy. Florida State is very unhappy with the ACC, and they have been for a while for good reason. The ACC, in general, as a collective unit, stinks in football. They really are more interested in basketball. And I know some people are always scared that the Big 12 is going to end up being more invested in basketball than football, but I don't see that happening. For the ACC, football has long been an afterthought, and Florida State is sick of it. And the latest thing to happen, as they filed their lawsuit that some say has no chance of winning, they filed their lawsuit that could get them out of the ACC. The entire thing, at least a lot of it, was about the additions of Cal, Stanford, and SMU and how it hurt the conference. Exact kind of things that we've been saying, those of us who covered the Big 12 and saw their lack of value when the Big 12 was taking in schools. SMU doesn't bring its neighborhood. It brings some good donors, it brings a lot of money, it brings a lot of arrogance, it brings a shady history, but SMU doesn't deliver viewers, it doesn't deliver fans, and it doesn't have that widespread engagement. And Cal and Stanford are stuffy academic institutions that once in a while are decent. Cal was decent in football this year and got their butts kicked by Texas Tech, which also struggled this year. But they were no match for the Red Raiders. Florida State's point is, by adding these three schools in the latest round of realignment, they weakened the ACC, and they needed to be strengthened. They needed more football brands. But there's no football brands to be had, so they just added some names. When the Big 12 added non-Power 5 entities, 3 of them were clearly the most valuable schools left without Power 5 recognition. And that would be BYU, UCF, and Cincinnati. Houston was in a mix with others, but Houston is a critical market for the Big 12. It played defense at the right time, because after all, if the Pac-12 had had Houston to add, that kind of changed maybe what we were looking at for the Pac-12. I think the ACC might be on the verge of implosion. Now, I don't know about the legalities of this contract challenge, this grant of rights challenge, but there's enough going on here to make me think that the ACC office, was that too many C's, completely fooled its member institutions with its contract that it's under right now. And let's not be fooled by this. The ACC schools were making less money than the Big 12 schools before this most recent contract that raised that number. If Florida State gets out, Clemson will follow, and all hell will break loose. Maybe some will come to the Big 12. After all, if the Big 12 can add Florida State, Clemson, and a couple other schools like Virginia Tech, maybe Miami, it changes the value of the Big 12 in a positive way, in a way that the ACC couldn't do with adding Cal, Stanford, and SMU. We tried to tell them, they wouldn't listen. After all, the ACC, like the Pac-12, has a bunch of academic nerds leading their conference. And when that happens, as K-Staters know, that's trouble.